We're back, counting down until the Combine in Indy kicks off. The drills, of course. There's players at the podium. There's coaches wandering around. But we have to get a news update with our guy, Will Selva, out in Culver City. What is shaking around the league?
Hey, what's going on there, Kay and guys? Well, the Redskins, of course, own the second overall pick, and most mock drafts have them selecting Ohio State's Chase Young. Really, there's no need for them to draft a QB. They already have one in Dwayne Haskins, right? But head coach Ron Rivera is saying that's so fast. They'll look at all their options with that pick. NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport reporting they would like Haskins to be the franchise QB. But if they believe Tua Tagovailoa is head and shoulders above Haskins, then they would have to consider taking him second overall. All that being said, head coach Ron Rivera has been impressed by what he's seen so far from Haskins.
Well, I think one of the things that, Dwayne's done is he's been around. I mean, he's in the building. He'll pop by, say hello and wave at you and go get his workout in. He's been around a group of guys that do that. And so he's learning from their example. And one of the things that he and I talked about specifically is that he just continued to grow as a young man, as a person.
Well, Washington also has a decision to make with left tackle Trent Williams. Rivera saying they've had conversations and that it's a work in progress. Williams didn't play in 2019 after a holdout and dispute with the medical staff. Broncos defensive end Bradley Chubb missing 12 games this past season due to a torn ACL. And according to his head coach, Vic Fangio, Chubb will miss OTAs this spring, but will be ready for training camp. Fangio also saying, quote, "I'll be shocked if he's not as good as new when you guys see him again." Chubb, of course, was a beast in his rookie season, racking up 12 sacks in 2018. Now we send it over to our guy, Peter Schrager in Indy, was another defensive stud who will look to make a big impact at the Combine and in his rookie season. But until then,
Surprise!
Okay, guys, I'm sending it to you.
We're here.
This is a little teaser.
Yes, we will have the SEC's 2019 Defensive Player of the Year with Peter Schrager in just a little bit. He's making his way over, shaking hands, taking selfies, all of that. But we are so looking forward to with all the events tonight. Thank you so much, Will. What are you most wanting to see? Henry Ruggs III is definitely #1 for me.
Yeah, of course I want to see the 40 time, but for me it's not just about the 40. I want to see how smooth these guys are when they're running routes, because what happens is you'll get in these drills and all of a sudden you start overthinking it. How many steps am I going to take when I come out my break? When do I whip my head around? Am I putting my hands up too fast? And you'll see some really good wide receivers that caught just about every ball in their collegiate career with their hands start to trap the ball with their bodies, because the ball will come and in a split-second time, they'll just overthink it. And they're like, oh, my goodness, let me just catch this and protect this ball versus going and plucking it out the air. So I'm looking forward to those receiver drills. It says a lot about a guy's hips, how fluid he is in and out of his breaks, but then also his hands in pressure moments.
I want to see the 40s. I love the 40s. It's like we're in the golden age of television, the greatest TV shows ever, and binge this and binge that. I'm never more entertained than just watching guys run 40s. You could take any show, 24, Game of Thrones, guys running 40s, especially when you have the Ruggs factor this year. Like that John Ross thing, we all remember where we were. I remember the call. He runs it, and Steve Smith's down on the field and goes, he can go home right now. He can take my plane and go home.
Wow.
If Ruggs runs the fastest 40 in recorded history, that's like not just football stuff. That's like almost like American history. We're going to remember that. I will be glued to it. It's my favorite.
It all kicks off at 4 p.m. Eastern. The quarterbacks, the wide receivers, and the tight ends hit the field tonight in Indy, where we throw it to Peter Schrager.
Yeah, Kay, I'm right now here with one of the top NFL prospects in this draft, Auburn defensive tackle and highlight machine, Derrick Brown. Welcome to Good Morning Football.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Great to have you here. And he just got done with his big media availability where I saw about 100 reporters around your podium. What's it been like all of a sudden being put into the national stage NFL Draft Week?
It's been fun, man. It's been, a new experience. Came up here, looked at it as it's a 5-day work week. So, that's what I'm up here for.
Now, I read something that said, what's your favorite part about football? And your response was, imposing my will. Tell us what kind of disruption you can cause from the defensive line position now that you're going from college to the NFL.
I hope to be able to do that same thing and be able to translate it over. And, I get to go in every single game. I want to be dominant.
You want to be dominant. You were dominant this college football season, one of the top players in the entire SEC, if not the entire country. When you look at the SEC and what you guys did, and now you look to the NFL, what do you think you need to do to make your game elevate and be able to do that at the next level?
Just not be satisfied, man. I want to keep working. I want to keep improving. I want to keep getting better.
When you were a junior, you could have come to the NFL draft. You likely could have been a first-round pick last year. You had a child. You had a son named Kai. And you decided, you know what? I'm going to go back to school. Instead of just taking the money and saying, okay, let's go and do it, said I can get even better. What went into that decision? And now that you've done that, are you happy with that decision?
I mean, I couldn't be more grateful for that decision. I chose to go back to school. I was there with I got to be in my son's first year of his life, which is, crazy important to me. So, I was also able to graduate. And while I was finishing school, just kind of seeing the process through, I look back on the decision and, I don't regret it at all.
Yeah, and there's going to be other defensive players talking. And I know you don't want to pit yourself against someone else, but Chase Young brings something to the field. You bring something to the field. Of course, Jeff Okudah brings something to the field. Why should you be the first defensive player taken in this NFL draft?
If I'm just talking about myself, then, I'm saying I'm a guy, you know what you're getting on and off the field. High character, hard worker. And, I'm ready to get into a system and learn.
Get into a system and learn. You've met a lot of these coaches. Now, I know you're not starstruck. You've played in the SEC. You looked across. You've seen all these players. You've done it at all the highest level of college football. What NFL coach did you meet this week that you were like, that's pretty cool?
I think it was more so, just kind of sitting down with the gyms. Like, you sit down with the gyms and it's kind of like, you only hear about them on TV. You don't really see them too many times.
The GMs, not the coaches.
Yeah. A lot of the coaches you got a chance to meet before, though, so.
The GMs come in, and what are they asking you? Are they poking and prodding at you, or is it like
they want to know? They want to know what's going to separate me from the 2018 Derrick in 2019.
And what's the answer? What do you say?
He doesn't exist anymore.
Doesn't exist?
No.
Why? Maturity, or just physical traits, or just that you had this outstanding season and now you're going to be even better than ever before?
I think I had some stuff going on, and having my son come in my life was honestly one of the best things that happened to me, and it made me grow up quick. So now all my focus on is being able to take care of my son, be able to take care of my family.
You're an actual man, which is great to talk to you. It's not just a kid coming out of college. You have real-life responsibilities. I know your teammate, Marlon Davidson, and you guys have a healthy rivalry, also one of the top players in the SEC. Talk about that partnership and that friendship and what you guys look to do in the rest of your careers.
It's a healthy competition. We go back and forth all the time, trying to see who's the defensive lineman of the week, every single week in, week out. I think we got 7. So he got the 4, I got the 3, so he won that competition.
He won.
Yeah, he won, but I got Defensive Player of the Year. So I put the trump card down. So it's one of those things where every single week we were competing. But we were roommates. Love him like my own brother. And every single day we came to work, showed up to work, try to set the tone for the defense.
When you do these drills this weekend, are you going to put on a show?
Oh yeah.
You're not sitting these out. You're competing. You're doing it.
Yeah, I'm doing everything here.
That's it. That's a competitor. All right, guys. Derrick Brown, Auburn. Where's number 5? I love a single-digit defensive tackle. That's a cool jersey number, man.
Oh yeah.
I love it.
It's fun.
It's bringing it to the pros. There it is, guys. Back to you in New York. This guy might be one of the top few players taken in the draft.
Yes, he puts 5 on that jersey, and we know that Peter Schrager loves that. How great is he?
He's fantastic, and we love his son Kai, 6'5", 320. You know what comes to mind is we're thinking about all the wideouts and all the quarterbacks and everything. Let's not forget how the San Francisco 49ers were built last year. D-line across the board, 1, 2, 3, 4, all first-round picks. So as we fall in love with the Lambs and the Ruggs and the Burrows, don't forget about Mr. Brown there, 6'5", 320.
Yeah, you're right about that. This weekend is a personality test as much as it is athletic test. So when you listen to certain individuals, you'll notice some guys are soft-spoken because they're young and they haven't experienced life yet. And teams are a little hesitant to give a guy $1 million who is really an old teenager. You know what I'm saying? You might be 21, 22 years old, but these guys are just kids. But then you have guys like Derrick Brown who are soft-spoken, but they're soft-spoken because they're mature. Like, doesn't he talk like a guy who's been in the league 10 years? Yeah. And if you're an organization that's willing to hand over millions of dollars, you want to hand it to a dude like that. A guy that's mature, that literally understands who I was in college is not who I am now, and also
perspective.
I have a child.
Yeah.
So I want this to last a life.
I can't mess this up.
I'm not going to do anything to mess this up, and that's exactly what these teams are looking for. Guys like that.
Well said. There's so much going on right now, right? There's the Combine, which takes place tonight. Then there's things going on with Dak Prescott, things not going on with Dak Prescott. There's Cam Newton to consider, Tom Brady, and it used to be that some of this information, the latest on your team, was hidden behind closed doors. No, not the case anymore, because NFL Now has you covered. It's the most connected reporters, insightful interviews, all of the immediate